Sabrina, thanks for being here. What do you make of the most recent poll numbers that are giving the advantage to the Liberals?
I think what we've seen, Renee, is that, we're now in week 3. And usually by this time, you'd see maybe some sort of movement one way or the other. And what has been true is that conservative collapse really happened at the outset of the writ drop around March 24th. The NDP collapse happened around the same time. We saw them decline from about 20% to 16% to where they are now at about 8%, I think, nationally. And we've seen the Liberals either stay steady at around 44 or continue to climb. And most specifically, they're climbing in key provinces and in key demographics.
Now, Mark Carney is stepping away from campaigning today to meet with the Cabinet Committee on Canada-U.S. relations. How do you think the tariff issue has impacted the campaign, and who does it benefit?
I think what's interesting about Mark Carney having this ability to kind of step out of leader Mark Carney from the campaign into Prime Minister Mark Carney when he's dealing with the cabinet and when he's dealing with the tariffs and dealing with Donald Trump and our international partners, it's really allowed the public to see him in both lights. And I think that's important for Carney because the public doesn't really know him, right? They really were only introduced to him, I would say, at the beginning of this year. Of course, he was Bank of Canada governor, but the Bank of Canada governor doesn't have a huge profile amongst, average Canadians. And so I think what's important for Carney is that they've, Canadians have been able to see him both roles, and he's kind of test driving what it is to be prime minister. And I think why you're seeing the polls the way that they are is that Canadians are responding well to that. They're saying, okay, we do like him as prime minister. We do think he's actually doing a very good job in responding to the tariffs and in managing cabinet, managing the economy as so far as it goes. And I think that has given the Liberals an advantage.
Do you see this race tightening up any as we get closer to Election Day?
I think most critically, the debates next week will matter. Of course, we'll have both an English debate and a French debate. And I think, we saw in the leadership, Mr. Carney was maybe not as strong on the French side. But I think his French has seriously improved over the course of this campaign. So I think that'll be his first test. But what I think is unlikely to happen is significant movement, because the demeanor that Pierre Poilievre has exhibited throughout the campaign has been kind of, patronizing. We've seen him patronize reporters over the last couple of days. We've seen him focus on the issues that don't seem to matter to Canadians. Twice now, or maybe 3 times, he's talked about his crowd size when Canadians are asking, what are you going to do about Donald Trump? And so if that continues during the debate, I don't see a lot of the polls changing to reflect an improvement for Mr. Poilievre.
That is our time. We'll have to leave it there. Sabrina, thank you very much for being here. Sabrina Grover is a Liberal strategist and former Liberal candidate for Calgary Centre.